Here's another tale for you while we're around the campfire. In the realm where ancient forests and towering mountains hold secrets untold, and where survival might depend on overcoming difficult choices, a party of adventurers known as the Silver Serpents found themselves entangled in a web of moral dilemmas. Led by the charismatic tiefling warlock, Marsolus, the party also consisted of the young human artificer, Enise, the furbolg druid, Leolin, and Tanviz Dabblefront, a halfling wizard with a worrying tendency towards risky arcane experimentation. So as the Silver Serpents ventured deeper into what was increasingly looking like an enchanted forest not far from the keep, they arrived at a clearing surrounded by ancient ruins. At the centre of those ruins, the party spotted that a group of cutthroat bandits, led by the notorious Captain Bloodthorn, had evidently captured a group of clearly terrified villagers. The bandits, wielding menacing weapons, cackled with cruelty as they discussed loudly how they would demand a hefty ransom for the helpless captives, their devious plan being to take the money and lead the captives regardless into a nearby perilous ravine, punishment for Bloodthorn having lost a fellow bandit in the process of capturing the villagers. Having overheard this discussion, the Silver Serpents dove in headfirst to save the villagers. But Bloodthorn had a reputation for ambushes, and it became clear very quickly that he had set in place a number of surprises for anyone foolish enough to try and beat him at his own game. And so, in a flash of trigger traps and poison darts, the party ended up being overpowered and had to flee. Minus, unfortunately, one member, as poor Tanviz found himself upside down, tied at the ankle and looking down into the rusted teeth of an open bear trap. Having retreated, therefore, the remaining Silver Serpents argued about what to do. If they put one step wrong in saving Tanviz, the villagers might perish. If they focused their efforts on the villagers, who were vulnerable and greater in number, Bloodthorn might cut the rope and end poor Tanviz once and for all. Who should they save first? After a long, frustrating discussion in this dilemma, however, thankfully they pulled themselves together, devising a more cunning, less direct plan this time, to rescue not only the villagers, but now also their captured wizard. It turned out that the party drew from an earlier encounter in an underground chamber they had unearthed, a chamber that had been coated in mystical runes, and occupied by a long-forgotten guardian spirit who had been awakened by their presence. They recalled that the spirit had shared with them a riddle they had failed to comprehend at the time, but which was beginning to make more sense now in their current situation. The spirit had told them, "To save both kin and comrade, you must tread the path of sacrifice." As they sat there working out how to save Tanviz and the villagers, realization struck that their best chance would be to embrace the concept of sacrifice. So Leolin, despite her inner peace, being the largest and most menacing in the party, volunteered to confront Captain Bloodthorn while the others rescued everyone in 2 stages. At first light, therefore, Leolin moved back towards the bandits' encampment. Looking to engage the bandits in a parley, Captain Bloodthorn, a menacing figure with a scarred face and a twisted grin, used a dagger to swivel the gaunt-looking Tanviz on the fraying rope. "You have 2 choices, Furbolg," Bloodthorn sneered. "Surrender your valuables, or watch your little friend fall to his death." In response, and perhaps to Bloodthorn's surprise, without a word, Leolin suddenly attacked him. Whilst with great stealth and precision, as the encampment became focused on Leolin, the others moved through the shadows at the edge of the ruins, freeing the captives one by one. At the climax of the duel between Bloodthorn and Leolin, as planned, Leolin feigned defeat, dragging herself off and drawing Bloodthorn and some bandits away from the clearing. And at the same moment, the Silver Serpents emerged from the shadows, launching a surprise attack on the remaining bandits. Leolin, very much waning and bleeding heavily, seized the opportunity from her place on the ground and struck down Captain Bloodthorn, who had become emboldened as he taunted his injured prey. Whilst at the hands of the ambushing party, the now outnumbered and leaderless bandits either surrendered or fled into the depths of the forest. Cut down without warning by Rhys once all had settled, Tanviz nursed a rather sore head and forced himself to be thankful through gritted teeth despite the artificer's careless assistance. The Silver Serpents, united once more, stood victorious, the overgrowth of the enchanted forest rising up to heal Leolin, its ancient magic resonating with her selflessness in the moment. As they left the clearing, the grateful villagers bestowed blessings on the party and spoke of their deeds to all who would listen. The party, having faced a difficult crossroad, emerged stronger, their bonds forged strong in the crucible of choice and sacrifice.
This tale was brought to you by vengersdicks.com. Please tip or support your host at patreon.com/vengersdicks and subscribe wherever you watch or listen. Until next time, tread with care in the realm.